Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Lisa O'Connor. I'm the department chair, and I'm going to be your host for the evening. First, we're going to bring up Morgan from LISA, and she's going to tell you all a little bit about what's going on with the student organization.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I see Scott is here and Michelle is not here yet, and there's two Michelles. There's three actually. So Michelle Leonard does Michelle Leonard does the social media posts, and she does a great job. And then I'm the vice president. Dylan can't be here, but he is the president, and Noel is secretary. So you can reach out to us for anything, really, if you have a question about what we're doing as for the student group, or if you're interested in suggesting something. We love suggestions. So the major things that are coming up are there's a career day on February 22nd, which is a Saturday, from 10:30 to 3. There's going to be like a writing workshop, and then there'll be lunch. You will find your own lunch, and then you'll come back at 1, and there'll be CV resume panel with the Career Center, and then a panel with a variety of librarians who can answer your questions if that is what you are interested in. It will all be recorded, we hope, through WebEx, so that we can share it. I am sure there was something else that I was supposed to mention, but I can't remember what it is.
How do you make sure you remember?
No, I did not. So you can go into the campus student labs, and there's a LISA group there, and then you log in with your credentials, and then you ask to join, and then Noel lets you into the group.
It doesn't cost a dime.
It does not cost anything. It's free. Just friendship is the only thing that it costs, and it's great. That's all I can think of. But if you have any questions,
yes. Yeah, I think it's a great way for our students to build their PLN, their professional learning network. So if you're not a member of LISA, it's a great opportunity. Join online and local.
And in April, we have an election. So if this looks like something that you want to do, and you're like, hey, I think I could help the students move in a positive direction, we'll have elections, and then you can put your name in the hat, and you can fill the roles, whatever that may be.
Okay, thanks very much, Morgan. I am going to try to monitor the chat as we go, so please feel free to ask questions. You can also unmute your mic and ask questions as well. Sometimes it's hard to talk and chew gum at the same time. So let's see here. So basically what I wanted to do today is just share a few things about how we're going as a program, some of the strategic goals that we have and where we are in meeting them, so that you have a good general sense of where we are. So some basic student demographics. We are only about 15% full-time, and we are still 84% female. This is based on enrollment of 307, which was our fall 2019 enrollment, without licensure. It's actually a little bit bigger than that. This shows 2 undergraduates, but we actually now have 22 undergraduate majors in our Bachelor's in Information Science program, which we're really excited about. That's great for not even actually having started the coursework yet. We're running experimental courses still, so very excited about that. We are still 80% Caucasian, 8% Black or African American, and the other groups, as you can see, are relatively small. Diversity is a huge priority for us, and we've actually slipped in this area a little bit. So going forward, we really like to focus on how we can recruit students from previously underrepresented groups. And again, stop me if you have a question. So one of our big strategic goals for this 7-year cycle that started in 2017 was that we wanted 100% of you to engage in a significant experiential learning opportunity. And ultimately, we decided the best way to do that was to require every single student to do that. So I want to talk to you about those changes and what your options are. If you're graduating this semester or in the summer, you can just close your ears for a bit about options because you don't have any. But if you're graduating after summer, you do have a couple options. So the current requirement now is a 1-hour capstone, and you use that opportunity to build a portfolio for graduation, and that's how you're assessed that you're career ready. That capstone has to be taken in your final semester, and so you have to balance that with another 2-hour class or just get an extra hour one way or the other. So to address that, the new requirement, and that's for fall 2019 and enrollees and beyond. So if you enrolled prior to fall 2019, that is your requirement, the 1-hour capstone. If you enrolled in fall 2019 or later, you have a new requirement. This new requirement is a 3-hour capstone class, and it has 2 options for you. The first option is a 120-hour traditional practicum. You're going to get a site, you're going to schedule 120 hours to work there under the supervision of an LIS professional. And in addition to that, you'll still prepare an exit portfolio, and that's what you'll be assessed on. A big part of that exit portfolio will be your evaluations, self and supervisor in the practicum. And you will use the portfolio as an opportunity to discuss how you were able to demonstrate that you achieved the program learning outcomes for this program. The portfolio is quite similar to the portfolio for the 1 hour. So the question is, if we need the credits, can we take capstone for 3 credits, even if we end before fall 2019? I'm getting to that in just a second. The answer is partially yes. Option B is for someone who's maybe already had a good deal of work experience in a library or has already done a practicum, because you can still take a LIS 691 practicum. Those are 2 separate things. So there's still LIS 691, that is a practicum, but the capstone is separate. LIS 691 cannot count for the practicum. And anything you do in the capstone cannot count for LIS 691, completely separate. So if your or the other condition would be if your schedule just really makes it difficult for you to do a traditional 120-hour work practicum, there's an option B, which is a field-based project. So it is still very much tied to an environment, an authentic professional environment where you would have an LIS professional who can supervise you in your project. The semester before you do the capstone, so these both have to be taken in your final semester, but the semester before with option B, you will take a preparatory course. We have 3 or 4 different ones, and one of which will be offered every semester. So they're research methods, innovation by design. There's a couple others, but your advisor can help you with that. So you have to know that you're going to take option B at least 2 semesters before you graduate, so that you can take that preparatory course and get your project proposal all set up. Your advisor will help you with that proposal, and this course that you take will help you get that proposal ready to go. Because at the beginning of your final semester, you have to be ready to dive into that. So if you do nothing, if you enroll fall 2019 or beyond, and you do nothing, you will automatically be enrolled in option A. You have to declare that you want to be in option B. Yes, could everyone please mute their microphone? That would be very helpful. Thank you, Suzanne. Okay, so can you opt in? That's the question. So the first time that you can opt in is fall 2020. And then that semester That's your graduation semester. If you're going to graduate in fall 2020, you may opt in for option A only, not option B. So that's that 3-hour course, and you can take it. The first time that students who started previous to August 9th, 2019, fall 2019, can opt in for B would be spring 2021, so a year from now. We will be putting some things out with deadlines about when you need to opt in by and how you opt in. I would encourage as many of you who would like to go ahead and opt in for this because it is, let me see if I can mute.
I think she's on the phone.
It is going to make you significantly more career ready to have this kind of experience, whether you do option A or B. So I would highly encourage this. One of the reasons that we made this change is because we heard from employers over and over and over again that students who come to them, graduates who come to them with a practicum or a significant field experience, make the transition into their new work much more capably than if not. And the other is that when we were assessing your graduation portfolios, we consistently noted that those who had had some kind of practicum experience found the portfolios not only easier and more meaningful, but they also performed much better and were able to demonstrate their capacities much better had they had a practicum. So those are among the reasons that we made this big change. So I'll have, as I said, we'll be sending out some announcements pretty soon about when and how you can opt in if that's what you'd like to do. Again, only for option A, fall 2020, and for option A or B, 2021 and beyond that time. So Scott asked, for example, could we already, if we are already working in our library, can we create a practicum related to our current work for option B? Yes, that's sort of an ideal scenario for someone who would want to do this. So it would be, yes, so you'd want to take that course the semester before you graduate to get a project proposal done and approved in time to implement it for your final semester. Any other questions about that before we move along?
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So I have this great opportunity to get a grant for prison libraries, and I have a state prosecutor who's a family friend to help me do it, but I only just started. I'm only in my first 2 classes. So would it be too early to do that? I'm going to do it either way, but
You could do it as a practicum if that's appropriate. You were going out a little bit. If it's appropriate, you could go ahead and take it for LIS 691 as a practicum, but you cannot do any of the work for the capstone until the end of, until your final semester.
got it.
Answer that question, okay?
Yes, I'm gonna do it either way, but it's not gonna count towards the capstone. I get it.
Okay, but you may be able to find a way to make it count. Depending on what the work is, you could try an independent study, you could try a practicum, LIS 691. So I would encourage you to talk to your advisor about how maybe you could make that work count for course credit.
Thank you. Okay.
Sure thing. Anybody else before we move on? Okay, well, great. Your advisors know what's going on. So if you do have additional questions about this, you can contact your advisor. You can contact me. I should have said, if you did enroll August 2019 or later, you should have already attended or watched the new capstone orientation sessions. If you haven't, please consult your advisor and make sure you've done that. We're trying to round all of you up and make sure that you've all seen it so that you're all prepared from the beginning, so none of this is a surprise to you. Yes.
Can I also say that's built into the school library licensure people, so their capstone is a little different.
You. I apologize. I should have said that very first. For the school library folks, your capstone now, you do not have to take the 1-hour capstone anymore. You are automatically going to be in LIS 693. and that includes your capstone experience. Robin asks, when we're signing up for the capstone, there will still be an option to do 1 credit for those of us enrolled before fall 2019. Yes, that's correct. Up until the day the last person leaves who was enrolled. Yep. Okay, any others? All right, great. So one of our other strategic goals was to increase the number of you who are enrolled in technology intensive courses. This is another thing that is motivated by feedback from our employers. They want more and better technology preparation. And so we are really going to try to, offer more courses, but often what we find is some of the highest technology enriched classes that we offer, the enrollment is extremely low. And so this is one reason I'm talking to you about this, because I want to encourage you to take advantage of all these great new technology intensive courses that we're offering. So in 2018, we offered 15 tech intensive courses with an enrollment of 302 students throughout the year. We did make an improvement. We added 2 new classes or 2 new sections, and we bumped that up to 320. I just want to encourage you to take things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. Things like data visualization. We may try to offer GIS course again. These kinds of courses, if you don't know what they are, check it out. Contact the instructor, ask them how it's going to be applicable to practice. I would just really encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and make sure that your curriculum is as technology rich as you can possibly make it. We're also working on we consistently work on all our courses to make sure that technology is integrated across all coursework. And I think we do a really good job of that, but we also want to make sure that you take the opportunity to get those technology intensive courses as well. So another of our strategic goals was just to make sure that our program is always right sized so that you get the best experience that you can possibly get. Right now we have a significantly more applicants than we can accept into the program, which is a great problem, but we want to make sure that the students that we admit that we can serve as well as possible. So we set some strategic goals for ourselves that I just wanted you to see how well we've met them. So unlike many programs in the United States, we have a very rigid class cap of 25 students. And there have been times in our past where we wanted to accommodate people so much that maybe we let people in and class sizes grew. But we don't want to do that anymore because we know from experience that when there are only 25 of you in a class, it's much more manageable than, say, if you get up to 30. So last year, we only had 1 class out of 120 that was above 25. This year, we're going to have a couple. I mean, there are reasons it happens. People need to graduate. You know, there are reasons it goes above 25, but in this one case, it was 26 or 27. It wasn't. It was 27. It wasn't 30. So we are really working hard. And one of the reasons I do bring this statistic to you is so that the faculty are maybe realize they can't let everyone in when they want to. We have very generous, kind faculty who want to accommodate you all. This goes to signing up for class issue, which we'll talk about in just a second. That's very important. The other thing we want to do is maintain lower than a 30-to-1 faculty-student ratio so that when you get advising, it's good quality advising from a faculty member who really has got to know you and know your career goals. Our target is 30-to-1, and right now we're at 28-to-1. So we monitor that, and we make sure that we're going to stay in that target goal. And that's actually, it says fall census, but that's actually spring census. So it was, that's actually spring enrollment of 366. In the fall, it was actually a little bit lower. And we want to maintain a good balance of courses taught by full-time faculty and highly qualified part-time faculty. This is something I wanted to talk to you about just for a second, because more than once when I've been out and about talking to people, I've heard students say this exact sentence: all of my courses were taught by adjuncts. And in an unhappy way. And I want to say two things. First of all, if that's true, somehow that's really an accomplishment, because as you can see, most of our courses are taught by full-time faculty. But I do want to say that we have the finest part-time faculty that you will find anywhere. I have absolute confidence in them. Many of them come from Jackson Library, they're practitioners, and there are very good reasons that some of our courses, we like to have them taught by part-time faculty. It's not necessarily an issue of whether we have enough faculty or not, but some courses are just very well taught by people who are in the field, practicing right now, giving you the very latest about what's going on. And so we're actually really proud of those instructors. So I don't want to communicate here that having an adjunct or a part-time instructor is a bad thing. In fact, it can be a really marvelous experience. I hope it always is. If it isn't, we try to move along and find other part-time instructors who do better. So what a good balance is, we're not quite sure, but our target for core courses is 90%, and we're at 88%. And 75% of our electives, and that is sort of our target, and we're right at it. So we feel like we're doing a pretty good job making sure you guys get a good balance of the full-time faculty who are sort of more research intensive, and part-time faculty who are out in the field really doing what they're talking about. Okay, somebody, let me see, got their mic on again. Let me see if I can mute you. Getting a lot of feedback. Okay. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so recruit and retain top-notch faculty. I'm going to tell you right now, I honestly believe that we have the finest faculty in the United States. I will stand by that. They're very productive. They're student-centered. I couldn't be more proud of our faculty. But I thought I'd just give you a few facts. So we averaged 3.14 publications per faculty. So what that tells you is that we have a faculty who are engaged in their subject matter. They're publishing their research. They're out in the field. They're visible, and drawing attention to the quality of this program. And they're up on the latest in whatever they're teaching you. They're staying current and have just a very high degree of expertise. Our faculty presented at 53 state, national, and international conferences in 2018, 2019. So again, that speaks to the accessibility of the program and for our faculty. I feel like I've got everybody muted. Excuse me for just a minute. We're getting a lot of noise. Please check your microphone, and if it is not muted, mute it. Okay, thank you. We've also had, I left my notes somewhere. Dr. Dawkins and Dr. Moorfield Lang won awards for their research this year. Dr. Chow and Dr. Lenstra have won terrific grants. I'm actually running for the president of our national association. So we have folks out there, and I'm sure I've forgotten a ton of things that everybody else is doing, but that's just a sample of how active and engaged your faculty are and how proud I am of them. We have new faculty. We have Dr. Zach Frazier, who will be teaching in the MLIS program, but also is coordinating the new undergraduate program. He brings some significant technology, skills, and experience to our faculty. Dr. Joanna DePolt joined us this year, and she is teaching LIS 600 and 650, 610 and 610 collection development. So we're pleased to have her here. She is from the, Joanne, I hope I don't butcher this, the UPenn system, I think. And then Dr. Letitia LIS, who has been with us for a year as a lecturer, was promoted to an assistant professor in a tenure track rank. So we are really excited to have her here in this new capacity. And she teaches in the areas of reference, information sources and services, information literacy, and a few other things. And we're so excited. Everybody congratulate Dr. Moorfield Lang. She's been tenured. That's always a big benchmark, and we're really proud of her and excited for her. I didn't include this here, but Dr. Dawkins was promoted after 3 years, so we're really glad to see her achieve that as well. So anyway, our faculty are just top notch, and I'm really proud of them. And I hope that you're having, I hope that you all sense that and are having a good experience. Okay, so course scheduling. I just want to say a few words about this. So one of the other funny things I hear sometimes when I'm out and about talking to students is every class is on the same night. All the classes are on the same night. And of course they're not. It might feel that way sometimes if you want 2 or 3 classes that happen to be on the same night. But in fact, what we really work hard to do is make sure we've got an even distribution of classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. We also try hard to offer some morning and some afternoon sections, usually 2 or 3 total sections every semester to accommodate some of you who are working at night. We realize some of you are on those night shifts and the classes have been filling up, so it seems like that's something that works for you all, at least some of you. So when you look at the schedule, if you see an evening class that's full and you think, we're all distant students, why is this a day class that I can't take? That's why, because there are people who actually really do need them. We find it hard to get through the program only in the evening. I'm going to ask you a couple of things. So one thing that we know is that the state of North Carolina is about to go through a little bit of a budgetary recession for higher ed. And so we're being asked to cut back on some of our expenses. And one of those is part-time instructors. So one thing that happens is when we launch the schedule for the first week or 2, I watch it extremely carefully. And if things begin to fill up too quickly, I try to go ahead and open up a new section if I can find instructors and we can afford the instructors and all of that. It's complicated. It's like a, you know, what do you call the game? Jenga. It's like pulling out Jenga pieces, right? And so one thing that I remember that as a student, I used to do is register for 5 classes, knowing that I was only going to keep 2 of them, or register for 4, knowing I was only going to keep 2. I would ask you with great sincerity not to do that, to please register only for the classes you need. Because what I see from my end is full classes with a need for more sections. And we sort of get in trouble if we, go over that 25, because I won't let it happen. But we also get in trouble if we have really small classes that don't fill up. And then my boss looks at me and says, you know, why are you having classes with 5 or 6 or 7 people in it? So I don't want to open up. It's always a really careful path to walk to not have too many sections, but to have enough sections. So I'd ask you not to over-register for classes. More importantly, though, I'd ask you to register as soon as possible. Register in the first couple of days. It's so frustrating to hear from students a couple of days before classes start that they really needed a class that they couldn't get in, because at that point, there's not a lot I can do to help. So what would really be helpful is you get in there the first few days you can register for the classes you need. And if there's something you need to graduate or something that you particularly need for some compelling reason, let us know if you can't get in, and then let us figure out what we can do to help you. But registering soon is very important, and I want to just encourage you to do that. I'll pause for just a second. Any questions before I move on? I just have a couple more things. Will there ever be a Saturday class? Well, Scott, you would ask that. Yeah, you know, I think in theory it always sounds good, but Yeah, but first of all, we'd have to have a faculty member who was willing to teach Saturday mornings, so that's always a challenge. And secondly, when we've done student surveys, the weekends have always fallen way, way below the others. And so my sense of it is that we would not have good enrollment on a Saturday morning, although maybe it's time to do another survey to see if that still holds true with this current cohort. So we don't have any planned soon, but maybe it's something we ought to think about. Yes.
What about asynchronous online?
So we have maybe one or two that are typically taught asynchronously. And those are taught asynchronously largely because pedagogically, we think that there are good courses to be taught that way. So one of them is like online search retrieval, 623. But largely, we believe that our classes are better synchronous. That's sort of our niche. It's what we feel like we do well. And what we really hear from students when they're graduating is that it really meant something to them to be largely in synchronous classes. So I hope what you experience is that maybe there's greater flexibility about that in the electives. But I think we feel like that it really empowers students to make those connections that they need to begin building those professional networks they need. One thing that I've thought a lot about and that I'm really concerned about for distance learners is that, you know, part of graduate level practice preparation is actual modeling and practicing communicating like a professional, talking like a professional, articulating what you know, and those kinds of experiences in asynchronous you only get in writing. And we know that oral communication is a really essential skill. And so part of the reason we do favor the synchronous approach is because we feel like you get more of a chance to build those kinds of social skills that you need for the workplace. So, but there are a few that are mostly synchronous, there's one that's all asynchronous, but there are a couple of electives too that maybe it only meets every once in a while. I think you'll find that in the higher electives is more common that it doesn't actually meet every single week. You think that's fair?
Yeah, I do have an app.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to really encourage you all to come to the Polymer Summit. This is Friday, March 27th and Saturday, March 28th. ALA President Wanda Brown is going to be our speaker for lunch on Friday, and it is a free lunch. There is such a thing as a free lunch after all. Actually, we might make you earn it by giving us a little feedback about the program. Maybe we'll do a Saturday scheduling survey or something. But so we might give you a little task to earn it, but really would love to have you join us on that Friday. We will begin at 10 and it'll go till about 2. We're hoping to have a group of ACE scholars. Those were some of our diversity scholars who came through this program, come and also present at 10 a.m. And then Saturday is our alumni lunch. And usually we have some students who exhibit some posters, and we have a really nice lunch and an alum speaker. It's just a very nice day to touch base with the program and be here. So I hope you'll mark your calendar for that. Yes.
Is it all right if we come maybe a little late?
Oh yeah, you can come as you want. You can come only to Friday, both. We'll be putting out the registration for this in the next week or two. So look for that on the listserv and on Facebook. We'd love to have a record-setting crowd. Last year, we had 129 or 130 people at our alumni lunch. It was the biggest crowd ever. I would love to top that. A good time to come Friday, get a hotel room, and stay through Saturday if you're out of town. So we will record a lot of it, and so make that available to you afterwards as well. But come here, Wanda. She's fantastic, and how many times do you get to hear the ALA president speak in such a small venue, right? So take it while you can get it.
She did a wonderful presentation on NPR the other day.
Ah, nice, great.
I was impressed.
Okay. Finally, the North Carolina Library Association is currently accepting applications for the 2020 cohort of the Next Leadership Institute to be held in September. So you can check the link there, nclaonline.org, and learn more about that and sign up if you're interested. And that is it for me right now. Do you have any questions for me or any comments or thoughts before I turn this over to a couple of the other presenters? All right, well, I am going to have Tammy Brewer talk to you a little bit about school library program and what's going on with that. And then we'll have Dr. Anthony Chow talk a little bit about technology courses.
And I did not send Lisa my slides, so you'll just get to hear my voice today. But welcome and thank everyone for being here. Good to see my in-house people today. Just very briefly, a few things to cover from the school library department. There are 4 of us that work to support you. So we have Dr. Dawkins, who's actually in here today. You've heard Lisa talk about her several times. Dr. Moorfield Lang, you've heard her name today. We also have Lori Sands, who's the director of the Teaching Resources Center and the Self-Design Studio, who works and supports in our department as well, teaching some classes and helping me with school visits. So we're so glad to have them as our school library team, and I think we work together in a way that we can support you in the field that you're in. So those of you who are in school library, we're there. We come to you, we work with you as long as you're within traveling distance. Lisa doesn't let us go to Germany and Saigon for some reason, but we're still glad to work with you virtually and connect with you as much as we can. We do have a Facebook group that we would love for you to join if you're interested in the school library world. That is our SLMC Real World Edition, thanks to Dr. Dawkins' help with that name. But it is, we share out those things that are going on in the real world. Everything from collaboration with public library programs to what's new in children's literature and diversifying your collection, as well as my favorite part, which is when we come to visit your schools, we like to see what's going on in action. So we'll take your picture in your space and share out the great things that you're doing. Makerspace related, if it's literacy promotion, all of those things, we like to show off the great things that you're doing, as well as those of you who get jobs. We just posted, Tina Murphy is now the media specialist at Brooks Global, just down the road, as of, I think she said last week. So, and we visited her today. So she's doing a great job already, getting her feet wet, and we like to share out those celebrations with you. So that's a big piece. One of the things our school library program is also doing is we take a field trip, really, usually to Hunt Library once a year. And so we would love anyone who's interested in that school library field to come with us. We're meeting on Saturday, March 7th at the Hunt Library. So let me know if you're interested in attending with us, and we'll see if we've got enough room in that field trip. But the goal there is to see how to flex your library spaces. Many of your school spaces still look like 1950s. At least the last 3 I've been in this week look that way. So how can we involve flexible seating, and how can we encourage a different kind of learning in our space? Because we know libraries are not places to just house people or house books or house meetings in your schools. They're also places to house creativity and excitement. And that's what we want to promote in our libraries. So how do we do that? So if you're interested, please let us know. One last thing for our school library people. If you're interested, if you're just entering our program, and let's say you're not really sure what route you want to go. Do you want to go public library, youth services, or do you want to go school librarianship? Really work with your advisor to kind of help you see which classes overlap until you make that decision. The public library has some flexibility in their course of study, their plan of study, but our school library program plan of study is really dictated by DPI, and it's very tight. So you don't have to take lots of extra classes. We'd love to work with you until you're ready to make that decision. And if we can help you with the classes that overlap, we'll be glad to do that. So we're very excited to work with you and happy. I know several of you are in my class tonight. We'll be meeting at 6 o'clock when this is over. So we'll see you in the other WebEx room. You guys have a great evening. It's good to see you.
All right, Dr. Chow, are you there? I actually do not see him. Well, I think we are short a speaker. All right, well, yep, so it doesn't appear he's here. And I'm not sure what he wanted to say to you, so I can't convey it myself. Anyway, so any comments, questions, concerns, anything that you would like to share with larger group? If you have personal concerns, you can always share those with your advisor or with me privately, but do you have anything you'd like to ask or chat about that might benefit the whole? Anything you wanted to know about the program, but you hadn't asked yet? I know we have several.
Lisa?
Yes.
Hi, I had heard it mentioned, this is Scott, I had heard it mentioned that MLIS might change from studies to sciences. Is that something that's happening?
That is true. It has already changed. In fact, if you graduate fall 2020 and beyond, it will say library information science. So it's passed, but technically it's not implemented until fall 2020. Is there a club or group for those interested in archives?
No.
Not currently, but we're in the midst of hiring right now, and that new faculty member might be a good person to head such a club, and we could explore that in the future. Dr. Chow needs a link. Could you email him the link? Thank you, Dawn. And somebody just posted the CritLib survey for LIS, so if you'll do that. We're going to get Dr. Chow on the line, but if any of you have other questions or comments. Or what I was about to say is if any of the faculty who are here or online have anything that they wanted to share with you or tell you, now would be a fine time to do that as well. I don't know if we have enough time for anything. I just sent it. We will give Dr. Chow about a minute or two, and then if we can't get him online, we'll let you all go because I'm aware that we need to begin classes. People are giving up. These faculty are going to be antsy that they're giving up some of their class time to get the work done.
I wasn't obvious. Was I obvious?
guess I have a question. I don't know if it will apply to everybody, but
That's okay.
so I'm graduating in May. But let's say I want to take a class that's being offered like next spring, instructional design. Would I need to be readmitted to the program and reapply entirely, or, okay.
You can take it as a vision student, because she already has a degree.
My understanding is, yes, you would have to reapply, or audit, you still have to apply even to have to get into the system, and that's the process for doing that.
Okay.
Well, I know one thing I could talk about just for a second while we give Dr. Chow a minute is, it's a little early, but study abroad, summer 2021, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Just saying 2021 seems so wrong right now. Summer 2021, we'll be doing a study abroad course to Northern Ireland and Ireland. It's a 3-week trip. Of course, it is, you can take it for 6 hours. So the course price is inclusive of tuition. So actually, once you pay the course fee and you save that 6 hours of tuition that you would have spent, really the course price comes down quite a lot. And we're probably talking about, for most people, it's going to run around $3,000 or so when you subtract out the money you would have spent on tuition. That includes everything except some food and airfare. It is an amazing experience. We always have such a great time and learn so much. We visit museum archives and libraries and some museums all over the north, and we're in Belfast for about 13 days, Galway in the south for a week, and Dublin for 2 or 3 nights. We see plays. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. So if you're going to be here, where do I sign up? Stephanie? We will come out with some things probably early in the summer. I will start sending out some like dates and here's how to let me know you want to go, and we'll be really excited to have you, Stephanie. So watch out for it. You won't be able to miss it when the time is. But I would highly encourage you to consider this. Don't write it off just because of money. At least hear it out, think about it. We're actually, I'm very excited that this year the dean thinks study abroad is so important that he has come up with a scholarship fund. So we think that there will be some money to assist you in paying for the course. And I teach it, and I usually take a couple faculty members with me. And it's just phenomenal. So if you're going to be here through summer of 2021, consider saving 6 hours for your study abroad experience. I hear you, Becky. If your child is super cute, maybe you can bring them with you. Do we have Dr. Chow yet?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Chow, if you're ready to talk.
Yes. Thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Good evening. So as we were thinking about what we'd like to hear from the students about, one of the things that I wanted to ask is about technology. So really 2 questions. The first really looks at, when you were first starting the program, did you feel prepared in terms of being oriented as well as your hardware and software? And then the second question is, during the program, how did we do? Were there any strengths and opportunities in terms of your technology, hardware, software, or even support? So I guess we'll start with number 1. What did you think in terms of when you first started? Did you or were there any ways to improve? Did you feel supported? What do you think as far as getting started?
You're welcome to turn on your mic or chat either way if you want to give some feedback.
Great. Feel supported. And we did not hear any complaints. This was just a curiosity question. It looks like so far that everyone felt very supported. So Becky, as far as your first class presentation, that was more rather just being nervous about presenting, but in terms of your technology, you felt comfortable. I missed Cassie's comment. Let's see. Oh, right. Sharing your screens. So Dawn, as far as your Chromebook, were you saying it didn't work well for WebEx? Let me go back to Cassie's original. Oh, okay. So Chromebooks do not play well. And Cassie, when you mean not play well, do you mean with Canvas and WebEx?
It's WebEx.
Specifically with WebEx, and that might be ameliorated with Zoom. We do use Zoom in 672, so I will check that out this Thursday and report back to you, Dr. Cho.
Okay.
Yeah, we're piloting Zoom in all of my classes this semester, and I'm used to it with Chromebooks, and it works well with Chromebooks. So that's one reason why we're piloting it.
Okay, great. Well, that's good feedback. I mean, I guess we could always make a note of that in our orientation materials as an asterisk, right? I guess. Do we have any Chromebook users that didn't have an issue with WebEx, or is that pretty consistent?
It's a consistent
It's
issue.
consistent.
It's consistent across the board with
There's
WebEx.
no
It
one-
doesn't allow you to do breakouts and other features that you can do. You can do basic functionality with WebEx, but not anything.
We do advise people in orientation that a Chromebook isn't going to work very well, but hopefully, Dr. Dawkins is piloting Zoom for the whole university, so hopefully, if that all works out, we may have an entire solution there.
Great. Yeah. No other institutions use Zoom as well in the UNC system. So, all right, excellent. And then the other question, this is in terms of your overall experience in the program, any opportunities for improvement, strengths, opportunities. So Cassie says Chromebooks have stopped supporting WebEx updates. Okay, so clearly not compatible. What about tech support? Did anybody need tech support? Did you reach out to IT services at all?
Would they know that is 6 Tech?
Right, 6 Tech, exactly.
It helped me when I needed it.
Well, Lisa, I'm sorry. This looks like a all positive topic.
I know. Nothing to be sorry about for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, unless you all have any last general questions, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here. It's really nice to feel this kind of community. So thanks for taking your time to be here. And my door is always open to you. If you have questions or need anything, I hope you'll come and let me know. All right, one last chance. Any last questions? Going, gone. All right, thank you all. I hope you have a great night.
Thanks for coming in Thursday.
Okay, whatever, got it.